Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. This is my review of The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I received this one from my friend Kayla for my birthday and I am so grateful that Kayla spent the money on me, but I didn't enjoy this book. I have warned her before I put up this video. Oh, I forgot to say happy Bookmas. Happy Bookmas everyone. I don't know which day we're on because I am recording these videos out of order, but I will leave a link to the Bookmas playlist for 2021 down below in the description if you want to go and check out and subscribe to all of my Bookmas content. I'm hoping to upload every single day up until Christmas, and then I'm taking a few days off in between Christmas and New Year. I'm recording a lot of videos right now, so I don't know which one we're on. Anyway, back to the review. Like I said, I didn't really enjoy this book, so I'm very grateful that Kayla sent it to me so that I didn't have to spend my own money on it, but I'm very sad that she spent hers on this book because it was rubbish. I'm just going to put it out there now. I gave this book 1 star. I don't think I really want to give it 2 because there are some problems with it. Let me just put it down so I can stop waving it about. As with all of my reviews, we got there in the end. I am going to do a quick summary of the book, a very brief summary because not much happens and I hate spoilers, and then I'm going to get into my thoughts and feelings about the book. So what The Hating Game is about is there are 2 people, they're co-workers called Lucy and Josh. Lucy is really short, as we keep being told, and Josh is really tall, and they hate each other and they're both going for the same promotion at work. They work in a publishing house, by the way, in case that interests you. Of course, because it's a romance book, it's hate to love. They hate each other to begin with and then they slowly come together and realise that they're in love with each other. Perhaps they always have been, and that's where I'm going to leave it because the rest of the plot just does not really exist. So my thoughts and feelings about the book. First of all, the characters. I really need to talk about them because they are hateful. I know that this book is called The Hating Game, but I wasn't expecting the main characters to be so spiteful and horrible and whiny. So my main issue was with Lucy because this book I think is mainly told from her point of view. I can't remember if we got many Josh chapters. I honestly started just skimming towards the end, but Lucy was the most bitter protagonist I have read about in ages. So not only did she hate Josh for seemingly no reason, I don't really know why she hated him. He also hated her apparently, and again I don't really know why. Despite hating him, she was also obsessed with him and kept going on and on about him. I don't think that was approached very well, especially because this was meant to be a romance book. It just ended up winding me up, to be honest. I didn't want the 2 of them to get together. She also used slurs like the G word and the R word. I'm not going to repeat them here. It's just not very nice to hear, and it's also not very nice to read. She used the R word in the context, well, she was using it when she was declaring her undying love for Josh, which may be a spoiler, but you know, it's a romance book, so obviously they're going to get together. And it just completely threw me because it wasn't a romantic declaration in the slightest, and using that word at the same time, like, I don't know what the author thought that she was doing, but it was awful, absolutely atrocious. And like I said, she also used the G word. Throughout the entire book, particularly the first half, I would say, Lucy complains about absolutely everything and she just seems absolutely miserable. And I get that some characters are really down about certain things, but I expect them to at least be a bit cheerful, especially when it comes to romance and love in a romance book, but that just didn't happen. Lucy was just awful. She was spiteful and miserable, and we kept hearing about how short she was. She's only 5 foot tall, if that, and we kept having that drilled into us because the height difference thing between her and Josh is a huge thing in the book. So speaking of Josh, he acted like a schoolboy when it came to Lucy. So apparently he's had this crush on her the entire time they've known each other, or he's been in love with her or whatever, but he kind of got his feelings across in a way that a young boy would, and like pulling her hair, not literally, but you know what I mean, like flicking ink at her and shit from across the office. That didn't literally happen, but it might as well have because the way he treated her was absolutely awful. And then when Lucy kind of tried going on dates with someone else, Josh became very jealous and admitted that he was a jealous, I think he used the word psychopath, and he treated the other guy really poorly just because Lucy was dating him, and this other guy seemed alright. I don't think there were any problems with him that I can remember. Josh even went so far as to hang up on the guy using Lucy's phone, like he took the phone out of her hand and like hung up on him. I didn't like Josh in the slightest. I hated Lucy. From the beginning, this romance was really not for me, and I really do not understand why everyone loves it so much. I think people really enjoy the hate to love part of the book, but to me, I don't think I've really bought it because the character's hatred was just so intense from the start that I didn't think there was any redemption or any progression that they could have made to realistically make them like each other or even love each other. The book is full of cliches, but I kind of expect that from a romance book, to be honest. I don't read a romance book for originality. It was original in the sense that the characters were absolutely awful, and I don't think I've ever read a romance book where it's quite that bad. So I could have dealt with cliches if the characters were likable, but they're just not. And on top of that, like I said in the beginning, or I implied. The plot is non-existent. The plot doesn't really go anywhere. It follows the same sort of beats that every single other romance book follows. So the main character, for example, could go on a date with another guy, become ill, be brought back to good health by the other person. These are just examples. And aside from that, the main characters are supposed to be going for the same promotion, but I don't think much really came of that, to be honest. I was expecting a little bit more rivalry between the two of them instead of just bitter hatred for absolutely no reason. There wasn't really much substance there in terms of the plot or the struggles, I suppose. I would actually recommend reading a completely different book if you are looking for something that shows hate to love co-workers or enemies to lovers co-workers with like a rivalry. If you want something better, is what I'm trying to say, then I would actually recommend Shit, which I have done a whole review for. If you would like to go check that out, I will leave it linked up above and down below. So that one is about, let me just put that down, two co-workers who again are going for the same promotion. They both have an obviously awful boss. I say obviously, they both have the same boss who is absolutely awful, and they kind of show that the hatred that they supposedly had towards one another was actually just a misunderstanding, and they weren't awful to one another on purpose, or it's just how the other characters were interpreting things. So I think that was handled much better because there wasn't any spitefulness there between the characters apart from maybe one of them, and in that relationship it's actually addressed and spoken about, and they actually go through it, and it's just handled in a much more healthy way than The Hating Game is, because this book is honestly awful. Like I said, I gave it 1 star. I don't really want to give it 2. Like, I don't despise the book. I mean, I kind of do. So maybe it does deserve 1 star. I just feel bad giving it 1 star. First of all, because Kayla bought it for me. And secondly, because everyone else seems to love it and I feel like I'm missing something. It's coming out as a film, I think in a week's time from when I'm uploading this video. I'm going to check out the film and I'm going to go into it with an open mind, because maybe it will come across better on screen. Maybe the screenwriter as well will have made some adjustments to the script and made it a better, healthier relationship, because the one in this was not healthy. Like I said, Josh came across as controlling, jealous, psychopathic is the word that he used, and Lucy was just bitter and whiny and hateful. So I don't think there's any redeeming these characters, to be honest, unless the screenwriter of the movie does something drastic, because they're just not people that I want to root for, and I definitely don't want to root for their romance, which is the whole point of a romance book. I want to be invested, and I just wasn't, because I hated both of them so much. So if that was the author's intention, then well done, Sally Thorne, that was brilliant, but I don't think it was, because this is supposed to be a romance book. So those are my thoughts on The Hating Game. Let me know what you thought of this book in the comments below. I know that it's very well loved, and I would love to know why. So if you did enjoy it and you made it this far through the review, then first of all, well done you. But secondly, let me know why and what it is I could be missing. Like, what about this romance and these characters appeal to you? Because I don't think anything about them got to me. I don't think I like anything about anything in this book. And I also think this book might have started the illustrated cover trend for romances, and I'm very unhappy with that, because now all the romance books look the same. But that's a whole different thing. That's my review. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if I've offended anyone with my hatred for this book, but it was appalling. I could have done without the slurs. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Bye!